What's up, everyone? Welcome to Backlog. Can I redo that?
Mulligan.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Backlog and Beyond. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Backlog and Beyond, a podcast where we talk about the old video games we want to be and the new ones we play instead. I'm your host, Jeff Zavatero.
And I'm your other host, Daddy. And this is episode 32.
That's exactly how I pictured you saying it, so I'm really glad you said it that way. Welcome to the BBs, everybody.
The BB Awards, the big one.
Yeah. Number 32.
My lucky number.
An insignificant number.
It's my big lucky number.
I know.
Jerk.
Great. So we're going to be talking about our favorite games of the year. Not necessarily games that came out this year,
Right.
But the games we played this year and enjoyed playing the most.
Yep.
But first, Nathan, what did you play this week?
I played a little bit of Borderlands 2. I've played with you as well.
Yeah, I forgot to put that.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. I don't know if it's because I'm actually enjoying it solo as well. I think it's because when you and I first played it,
Okay.
it's no offense. When you and I played it the first time, I felt like we were trying to keep up with each other and not slow the other one down. So I noticed that I wasn't stopping to check my guns and look at the stats. And I've noticed that with this game, you really have to stop and take your time and look at the stats of each weapon and compare and contrast and really make that decision on, do I really want to pick up this gun or do I want to leave this one behind? Do I want to drop a gun? And so I feel like the whole RPG element, I'm actually taking more advantage of now that I'm playing solo because I can just stop and take my time. But yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, there's a lot of trial and error with the guns so far. And yeah, I'm having a blast. Also, I'm still playing Shady Part of Me. Having a blast with that. And there's a Let's Play on my YouTube if you want to check that out. So.
Dope. Yeah, and because you started a new Let's Play because you finished your other game.
I did. I beat Unto the End. That was a challenge, no joke. That was a challenge. And we actually have a very exciting announcement for that later at another date. So be sure to stay tuned on Unto the End news. Big news.
All the time. Listen to every episode anyway.
It is.
Great. Well, I had a lot of downtime this week, so I played several games. I played some Crash Bandicoot 4, which
Cool.
I got from Emily for Christmas.
Awesome.
I was trying to, I'm following a walkthrough on my second playthrough so I can try to get, all of the crystals, and it's so frustrating. But, in a
man.
good way, just because it's very thorough and there's a lot of good secrets. But
Right.
I'm thinking about, just doing a whole playthrough without getting the diamonds and then
Okay.
going back for the diamonds because I feel like it's hindering my enjoyment.
Yeah.
It quadruples my death count trying to get all these boxes.
Oh God. Yeah. No. I would do the exact same thing that you're talking about. That sounds.
But I've said that to myself. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna play this next level, no boxes, and then I'll get halfway through the level and I'll be like, how many short am I? 3? Okay, I can get those.
Yeah. Exactly. Just go back and get them later.
Yeah, I should.
It's a good idea.
But it's pretty dope. I started Mafia Remastered.
Oh.
And yeah, the voice acting's really good.
Cool.
The animation's a bit wonky.
All right.
And so are the textures on the people, but overall, it looks really great.
Cool.
I'm not used to driving. I'm used to R1 being a handbrake button, and I don't think that's the case in this one.
Oh, driving's R1.
No, R2 is to drive, but R1's
Oh.
usually a handbrake, like in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think it's the case. I think you have to hold reverse in order to slow down, and that's frustrating.
Oh, that's really frustrating.
Yeah, and then for $1, I got Emily and myself Death Squared, and it's a cooperative multiplayer game where you're 2 squares on a map, and you each got to get to your endpoint. But sometimes your movement sets up traps for the other person.
Oh.
So you really have to communicate the whole way through.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very frustrating, but it's pretty fun.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then the last thing I played is I repicked up Stardew Valley. I got a whole new fresh set of mods. I started a new
Yeah.
farm. I got Stardew Valley expanded. I got a whole new map
Nice.
to go into addition to it. So it's a whole new game for me. And they just released 1.5,
Right. The new patch.
which is gonna be my news. So I just spoiled it. Let's move on to the news. Stardew Valley released 1.5. Did we talk about this last week?
I think you and I had a little chat about it.
Got it. Okay, I was like, yeah. So, it looks like they officially have split screen co-op in there.
Sweet.
It came out for PC for sure. I think it's coming out everywhere else slowly.
Yes, consoles are next.
Yeah, and then my like one of my favorite things that they added so far was that you can sit down on benches, which is really nice.
And you can move your bed too.
Yeah, and I heard there was a lot of post community center content, which is really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because like that's where I stopped. Once I got to community center, I'm like, I did it.
Done.
Yeah, done. I picked up the game for Emily on Steam for her Mac, so
Nice.
like we played a little bit together, but like you can't carry over your progress or your money. You have to
Oh.
stay like a new farmer to join other people.
That sucks.
So mostly we're playing separately, but in the same room.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. What's your news?
Well, Sony is developing 3 movies and 7 television shows. Right now, the CEO just confirmed that they're doing it, but they really didn't specify whether the Uncharted movie and the Last of Us HBO series is going to be included in those numbers. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what I want to see yet. Like, I really haven't thought about it, but either way, I'm really excited because I really want video games to do well in viewing format, in a film and television format, and hopefully Sony can pull out some stellar content because man, it's been rough for video game movies. I think the best video game movie I've seen so far is like Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's sad, but it's true.
I know, it's true. It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, it wasn't even great. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
I
I
know.
enjoyed it
I enjoyed Sonic. It was cool.
after the complete remake.
Right.
I
For the
am
overhaul.
still excited for that Super Mario Brothers movie by Illumination.
Yes.
Because I feel like they'll at least get the visual style down.
Yes. No, they definitely will. I'm really excited that they haven't mentioned anything about it yet because I know that since it's Illumination, it's Universal, which means my company will work on the trailer when we get it. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So no word on that yet. So it's still in the process.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully I'll be back to work when we actually work on it so I can actually see it.
Yeah. I miss my real job.
I know, me too, man. Me too.
Like we haven't done like our real work since before this podcast started.
It's true though. It's really sad.
32 weeks of no real work.
Oh man.
Moving on to more fun things, we're going to play Mad Libs since we moved the game format around because we're not doing our normal Give It an Hour at the end of the show because we didn't have a game for Give It an Hour.
Right.
Because this is the BBs. We're all
BBs.
dressed up nice. Like Nathan's got that nice jacket you can't see because of the saturation and the contrast. And
I know, it's like a lovely
Looks so
burgundy.
good.
I wish you could see. It's a lovely burgundy, and I'm wearing a black shiny tie with a black shirt. And yeah, if you're listening, you'll never see this anyway. So
true. I think after we go post show, you should turn off your virtual background so you get a better look.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna play Mad Libs. The way this game is played is we found a brief description of a game, and we're gonna remove some words and exchange them for new ones and read them back to our opponent.
Right.
And they're gonna try to guess what game we're talking about. So Nathan, why don't you go first?
Okay, cool. So I need a celebrity.
James Gandolfini
Oh, Gandolfini.
is right in the middle of his name. I remembered he was dead. No, really is.
I need a past tense verb.
Scatted.
Okay. A noun.
Tree.
Actually, I'm gonna say we're gonna forget about scatted. I'm gonna take that away for you. Make it
That was
easier.
my favorite one.
I know. There's another one you could probably have it for. Name of a city.
A real city or a made up one?
Whatever. Could be a video game city.
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Okay, I need an
I'm not
adjective.
original. Excited. That's an adjective, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I need a. Oh no, sorry. Never mind. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I need a name of like a family member. So not like your family member, but like a
Like a relationship.
yeah, a
family
relationship
member
member.
thing.
Yeah.
Uncle.
Okay. Okay, and then a name of a room that's in a house.
Basement.
Okay. Okay, and then let's see here. Okay, name of a fast food restaurant chain.
In and out.
Okay. Let's see here. There's that. And then a type of place. So like a type of location.
Can you give me an example that I
Like
won't
the
use?
mountains.
Okay. The desert.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Let's go for it.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
James Gandolfini, an only child, has scattered home to Tokyo, a town populated by excited humans. Now living in his uncle's basement, he discovers how much time has changed since the closing of the town's In and Out, uncovering a dark mystery that leads him into the nearby desert.
So much packed into such a small paragraph.
I know, right?
Persona 5.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, give me another one.
I will take away. Let's see here. If I give you that one, you're going to get it immediately. I'm going to change. Okay, I'll do this. So I'm changing basement. Basement is actually attic.
Night in the Woods.
Yes.
I figured it out before you gave the clue because I'm like, single child, Night in the Woods. All right, I got 9 points. What a miracle for me.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Thanks.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, can I get the name of a town that does not exist?
Okay. Let's go with town that does not exist. Let's go to Margaritaville.
Can we go to Margaritaville?
Yeah, sure.
Can I get a number?
32.
Cool. Can I get a celebrity?
Okay, it's let's go with Jeff Daniels.
Can I get a relationship that two people have?
That two people have?
Yeah, like brothers, best friends.
Oh, okay, let's go with
siblings.
sisters.
Can I get the name of a childhood friend?
Let's go Marvin.
I was gonna say if you don't pick Marvin, he's gonna be very upset. Can I get a past tense verb?
Let's go rejected.
Same. Location, such a like a biome, such as
Okay, let's go meadow.
I accidentally selected the whole paragraph and deleted it. But I fixed it.
Automatic win.
Can I get a number?
Let's go 55.
Another celebrity? This is a lot.
I know. But Tilda Swanson? Is that her name?
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swanson. Tilda Swinton. Stupid.
Okay, and then I'll get one more.
Okay.
A name of a group of people, like jocks or like the Bloods or like Peckies.
Let's go T-Birds. For my Grease fans out there.
Okay, so here we go. The game starts in a Margaritaville alley at around 32 a.m. Jeff Daniels finds his best friend and sister, Marvin, rejected in the meadow, alongside 55-year-old Tilda Swanson.
Swinton.
I don't know why I wrote Swanson. The seemingly random string of rejections continues along, providing Jeff Daniels with clues to find his T-Birds.
Oh, man. This is tough.
That's right.
Oh, man. Okay, so it's a murder mystery, clearly. Oh, wait. Detroit Become Human?
No.
Okay, all right.
Let me take out. Not sister. It's ex-partner.
Ex-partner.
So Jeff Daniels finds his best friend and ex-partner Marvin rejected in the meadow.
Okay. Rejected in the meadow.
He's just over there sad.
Just like ex-partner. Okay. Oh man. Oh, ex-partner. Is this Police Quest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
All right. So that doesn't change anything in terms of who's winning,
Nope.
but it does change our scores.
Okay.
So it looks like over the course of the year, our game point tally, now Nathan has 115 points. Jeff has 106. So I lost by 9.
Yeah, well, no, including
I just included. Oh, sorry. Did I do those backwards?
it was it should have been 114 and 106.
Sorry, 123.
123 and then
'Cause you got
115.
9.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
115 to
Oh, I
123.
changed yours twice instead of changing mine at all.
Yeah, so I ended up with 123 points. Jeff ended up with 115 points at the end of the year. Don't know what these points mean, but
I think next year they should mean something, but we
All
haven't
right.
figured it out.
well, I won for the first year, and it was only 6 months. So cool.
Dude, that was like almost. That was a lot of months. That was 32 weeks.
Was that more than 6 months? It was May.
It's a
we
little.
started.
It's a little. It's more than half the year.
So it was like 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 7 months of games.
Crazy.
And we didn't play a game every
This
week.
game is horrible. Clay does not like this game. I thought of this one, Clay.
Not
This was
horrible, just
my baby.
difficult.
My baby.
Oh man. Oh my god. Cool. All right. Well, there you go. So I've won
All
for
right,
the year, and we'll figure out what the prize is going to be for next year.
We haven't decided yet.
I feel like I should get a trophy or something.
Maybe. I have a question. Are you wearing real dress pants?
No,
Me neither. I'm wearing basketball shorts.
I'm wearing
and
jeans.
barefoot.
I'm wearing nice jeans. So
Your bottom half's a bit more visible than mine.
right, yeah, I kind of had to do that.
Yeah. I was
It's
going to wear
important.
glasses so we can match, but I couldn't find them.
Oh, it's okay.
That shows how much I wear them.
That's fine.
Oh,
fine.
let's get on to the main event of the evening, the BBs.
The babies.
BBs. The babies.
The babies.
Great. So we have 11 awards that we made up on the spot.
Right.
They're just award categories that we felt should be acknowledged.
Right.
And we're going to give you our thoughts. We're going to give you our honorable mentions, but ultimately what we thought was the best game to fit these categories.
Right.
So we're going to start with number 1, the Looking Good Award. This is the game that had the best visuals, not necessarily the most lifelike, but the art style that was the best executed into our taste. Nathan, tell me about your pick.
So for my Looking Good award, I'm gonna give it to Last of Us Part 2. It looked amazing. The graphics were fantastic. I think I remember telling you originally when I first started playing the game how good the foliage looked,
Yeah.
how detailed everything was, and like even like the facial animations and the level design, like everything was just gorgeous. And I don't know, I couldn't think of a technically better looking game. Like if we're talking like aesthetically, like a design that I liked, I think Ghost of Tsushima was one that I preferred in terms of the overall beauty. But if we're talking technical, like close to realism looking, I would say definitely Last of Us Part 2 gets my award for looking good. Looking good.
Awesome. So I had a couple of honorable mentions to go with this one. Last of Us was definitely up there. Like to me, you could have the prettiest character models in the world, but as soon as they start talking, it all like goes wonky, and I hate how sometimes it like ruins it for me.
Interesting.
Last of Us, there was no issues with that whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. None.
I also appreciated Detroit Become Human because it was one of those where I'm like, is that actor? And I'm like, it is Minka Kelly. That looks just like her. That was amazing.
I know, right?
I thought it was gorgeous. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like it looked exactly how it looked to me when I was 10 years old playing the original one. But it was brought to life and I loved it. But
Gotcha.
Having the benefit of a PlayStation 5, I
Ooh.
have to give it to Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Wow.
That
Nice.
game looked incredible. The new Venom electroshocks always looked gorgeous.
Awesome.
You could go into photo mode and look into the detail of each of the suits,
Oh,
like the
wow.
different textures, and so much thought went into that kind of stuff.
That's so
It
cool.
was gorgeous.
And that ray tracing too. You had ray
Yeah,
tracing to
yeah.
work
So
with.
they started with, you could either do ray tracing or 60 frames a second, and then they added in that new middle ground, and that's kind of where I'm playing because 60 frames a second is hard to let go of.
Right. I hear
But
you.
man, it looks so good. I can't wait till 60 frames a second, 4K, and ray tracing are all. I feel like by the end of the life cycle of the PlayStation 5, that's going to be the norm.
Totally. Totally. I'm
And
excited for that.
it looked gorgeous. I can't get over it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why don't you explain the next award to make sure I interpreted it correctly?
So this is the Sounds Good Award. So this one
Mhm.
basically, whether you love the sound design, you love the music, overall, the sound of this game just made you very happy.
Okay.
So a game that you either loved the sound design for, or the music, or the music.
Okay, great. Well, starting with my honorable mentions, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. The soundtrack was there. The new additions were excellent. I assume the skateboard sounds were pretty accurate. I only know what it sounds like when you fall.
Right.
Bug Snacks is fun. It makes the noises that all of the Bug Snacks make the world feel alive. I love
Nice.
that one a lot. But I gotta give it to The Last of Us too.
Okay.
Like the ambient noises, the music, the sound effects all blend so well together.
Right.
That, I that's not a game that you need your own soundtrack for. I think they got it right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I actually didn't. I to be honest, I forgot to add honorable mentions on this list, so I really don't have any ready.
We talked about this.
I know, and I totally forgot. Yeah, I'm blaming my dad brain. So, yeah.
Wait, you're a dad?
No. Yes. I am a dad. Just so you all know. For those of you who aren't aware, I'm a father. So yeah. But my game that's gonna go to the Sounds Good Award is gonna be Ghost of Tsushima. I loved every aspect of that. Every aspect of that game in terms of sound design. The music even made me cry a few times, or almost cry. Like it got me choked up. The sound was so good. It was just something I'll never forget. And the sound of the wind, the sound of the swords, it just everything. It was all so good. I can't say enough about the sound design for that game.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So the next is the LOL Award, the game that made us laugh the most as we played it. What do you give this to?
I would say, so yeah, so this game, this was a little hard because there was a couple that I liked. Horus actually made me laugh out loud a few times.
Mhm.
That was really funny. But the one I'm giving this to is gonna go to Beat Cop.
Oh,
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, what was it? What was it? Yeah, so Beat Cop, basically it's like this game. It's like a side scroller. It's kind of like it's like not, what was it, 16-bit, 8-bit. It's like an 8-bit, but it's a newer game. But man,
Yeah.
it was such cynical humor, and like every joke left and right was like these guys just like bagging on each other and just busting each other's balls, and it was just so funny. Like because every day you had to start a new day, and you'd be in the office talking with all of your coworkers, and you could just you could kind of like quickly click on everyone to see what they were going to say to whatever, and every single time there was going to be somebody like making fun of someone, and it was just absolutely hilarious every single time. So my laugh out loud award goes to Beat Cop.
awesome. Great. I have a couple on here. The Stanley Parable, picking that up again made me laugh a lot. It's like
Nice.
the devs thought of every possible thing that you'd want to do. Like something in the janitor closet looked suspicious, and they had dialogue for like how long you were sitting in the janitor's closet.
Nice.
I was at that. It was a lot of fun. Bug Snacks is making me laugh the more I play it. I got good pizza, great pizza. There's a rival pizza place across the street, and he like occasionally just comes over to mess with you. He's like, "This is fantastic." For me, this pizza sucks. And like it's so like wholesome, like the game, but it makes me laugh.
Oh man.
Untitled Goose Game.
Oh yes,
I
so
laugh
good.
regularly.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my
Just
honorable
causing
mentions.
trouble, like making that kid fall.
That kid, oh my god, that poor kid, man.
With
Like
the glasses.
that was like 2020 in a nutshell right there for that kid.
Uh,
Just like
he suck, man.
stealing his
Uh,
glasses and running off with them. That was so good. So good.
but ultimately, I gave it to Horace, a
Okay.
game I'm still playing. I love the British humor. I love that it's all narrated by the robot.
Right.
Like the monotone in his voice absolutely sells
Yeah.
everything. And like it just feels so dry, but like the delivery mixed with the visual cue shortly after like gets me every time. Like
Totally.
I don't
Totally.
laugh a lot out loud when I'm by myself, like watching or playing something, but I laugh out loud while I'm playing that game.
No,
Feels
there
goofy
was
to laugh out loud when you're by yourself.
totally. Well, there was a couple of moments when I was playing Horse, and the same thing happened to me. I was laughing out loud. I was like, "Why is this so funny?" But you basically just nailed it. It's that dry humor and just the monotone voice delivering these really hilarious lines, and he just keeps it completely straight. It's so funny.
Yeah,
So good.
absolutely. Great. Why don't you present the next one?
So the next award we're announcing is the Feels Award. So this is an award that kind of gave us the feels. Obviously, it got us a little choked up, maybe made us cry. But in other words, it just touched us in a place that is near and dear to us, our hearts. So I would say my award for the Feels Award is going to go To the Moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was a surprise. This was one of the Given an Hour games that Jeff recommended for me to play, and wow, this hit in so many places. It was just so sweet, and it's just I don't want to. It's hard to like talk about it without spoiling it.
Yeah.
But my God, if you want to get emotional and have a moment, play To the Moon, because it is fantastic. It's great storytelling, and what's amazing is that there's no voice acting.
Yeah.
Yet just the dialogue that's there to read alone is so touching. It's really good, really good. So yeah, To the Moon. I would say I got choked up quite a few times playing that game.
For sure. It's hard not to. It's such
Yeah.
a good game.
Yeah.
There was a couple of moments in Detroit Become Human, where it was like really emotional, like
Yeah.
especially when you're what's her name, Kara? I only remember her from the tech demo.
You think it's Kara? Yeah, Kara.
Kara, yeah, when you're protecting her from like the dad and just
yeah.
trying to protect that kid. That whole storyline like got me several times.
Yep.
And knowing that your choices have direct influence on their lives
Right.
is terrifying.
Totally.
Ghost Giant, like you're just this being witnessing this poor kid's life, and you can't help just feel for this kid. Like you just want to give him a giant hug, but you can't because you're pretty much a ghost and a monster.
Yeah, it's like Heavy Rain. It's like the same thing when there's kids
Yeah.
involved. All of a sudden, it just becomes more imperative.
I know.
It's like so much more on the line.
But ultimately, I gave this to The Last of Us 2. Sweeping
okay.
my awards as well.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
But like I loved in this case that you don't get a choice in how the character reacts. You
Okay.
understand the choices that they're made given the context,
Right.
and you still can empathize with the pain that Ellie is feeling and other characters are feeling throughout the game.
Right.
But even though you would have made choices differently, you can see why and how they would come to these same conclusions and these same decisions that they
Right.
make.
Right.
And there were so many times, like I'm trying so hard not to spoil it because
I know it's
but
almost
like
impossible.
there were so many times like I just felt it, and it was a heavy game. Like that, the whole end of that game, like I didn't want to finish it. Like I was holding the controller and I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Right. Right.
But it makes you do it, and
You have no
ultimately
choice.
it's a rewarding experience in that way.
Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good
so
choice.
We're gonna move on to the next one, the Pleasant Surprise Award. This is a game that we weren't necessarily looking forward to, or a game we knew nothing about going into, but
Mhm.
we still had a good time playing it. What was that game for you this year, Nathan?
So I came into this year like not having a lot of time to play games or to begin with, and usually I would play I played the same kind of games. I played all of the big open world, exploration games, all the RPGs, the large open world RPGs, and I've never really been into platformers until I played Celeste. Holy crap. That game is so well done. It was probably one of the most challenging games I've ever played, but probably the most fun I've ever had in a platformer, like ever. It just the combination of everything, the music, the story really surprised me. Just everything about that game. I had no idea that platformers could be so like such an amazing experience and like overall an amazing experience. But because of Celeste, I've been like way more open to the notion of tackling platformers and playing more indie games. And it's, man, it just, if you've not played Celeste, you need to play Celeste because it touches on so many good real world stories, and the characters are so genuine, and the music's fantastic. It's just, I don't know. I could probably like buy that soundtrack. I totally would buy that soundtrack because it's just so good to listen to.
It's probably on like the streaming stuff. Like, I found like Needhog on the streaming, like YouTube Music. It's on there. So
yeah,
it's
I
like,
wouldn't.
There's weird choices on there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on Spotify too. I'm sure there's a Celeste playlist on Spotify. So I'd probably just play that all day. But yeah, it's a challenging game. But for some reason, I wanted to get through it so badly because I'd grown so attached to the character Celeste. So yeah, it's definitely my winner for Pleasant Surprise of the Year.
Awesome. One game I picked up a couple games blind this year. One of them was Death and Taxes, which we did for Give It an Hour.
So good.
And that one was like a nice surprise for me. It's not like groundbreaking, but it's like a nice chill game that I'm enjoying playing a little bit at a time. Like nice. I don't feel like I need to go back and start over because I forgot what happened last time.
Right.
I could just pick it up and go.
It's a good change of pace too.
Yeah, for sure. Katana Zero is another one I picked up, not knowing anything about, and I have an absolute blast playing that game. Like,
cool.
The ability to rewind when you die, like and then watch your successful playthrough after every round is amazing. But what the biggest pleasant surprise for me was Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice.
Nice.
Yeah,
oh, that's awesome.
Like, I just seeing everything about it, I'm like, oh, this looks so dreary and like the graphics look cool, but I have no interest. But like the combat was what I didn't think would be as satisfying as it is.
Nice.
And it was a lot of play, and I haven't picked it up since, but I am definitely going to before the second one comes out. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So it was a great surprise for me.
And you need to play with headphones this time too.
Oh yeah, so I guess I need to start over.
But the fact that it's your Pleasant Surprise award and you haven't even played it with headphones yet is mind blowing, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
actually.
The gameplay was like good.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah. Go ahead on the next one.
So the next award we're going to announce is the Best with Friends award. So obviously this basically goes without saying it's the game that's best to play with friends, or the best multiplayer game that we could come up with. There was a few that I loved. Like I love playing Human Fall Flat. That's like one of my favorite games to play with you, and I don't know, just something about it. It's just, even though it takes like 2 hours to do one mission sometimes, I absolutely have a blast with that game. I had a great time playing Speedrunners with you, Needhog 2. Those are really fun. But I think if I had to be like objective about it, I think it's going to be Among Us. Among Us is really fun. I think it's because of just how creative you can get with this game doesn't really give you, it only gives you so many rules, but the fact that you can actually join a chat room and come up with your own rules and have full-on conversations and arguments. And like that one time you and I played, I had such a blast with that game. Like I would say I almost chose Spy Party as my winner because
that's on my list.
I had so much fun with you doing that. Like that is because it's just us being silent for so long.
We're trying not to give anything away.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know.
What's the code word? What's the code word when you're contacting another spy?
Oh,
banana bread.
Yeah, banana bread.
I remember like constantly trying to yell banana bread.
Yeah, you're saying banana bread. Like, Jeff, I know it's your voice. It's clearly different than the actual guy's voice.
Banana bread.
Banana bread. But yeah, Among Us is so fun, and that group we played with was amazing. I still can't get over how defensive that guy got when he was actually lying the entire time.
When I blatantly witnessed him kill
Yeah,
somebody.
you saw him kill someone, and you're like, it was you, and he's like, and he got so defensive. You're like, maybe it wasn't him.
Yeah, he got so defensive. I thought I saw the color wrong. I was like, maybe it wasn't you.
He
Maybe it was
convinced you
purple.
you thought you were wrong. Oh, it's powerful. That's right. That's some powerful acting right there. So
Peer pressure.
yeah. So anyway, exactly, peer pressure. So yeah, Among Us is my win.
Dope. I did a lot of like gaming with friends. Wasn't necessarily like normal video games. Like we picked up an app called Air Console, and you all play the app, and then it shows up on your TV, kind of like Jackbox does, but like they're mostly like getting to know you games, kind of like Cards Against Humanity type games where you fill in the blanks and you also so I played a lot of that. Had a lot of fun with that. Fall Guys. The 3 or 4 of us playing that every time was always a blast.
Nice.
Even if not everyone was great. Gang Beasts has a permanent home on my favorite games to play with friends.
Gang Beasts is fun.
Human Fall Flat constantly stressed me out. Constantly stressed me out. But in the end it was fun, and we accomplished something together. I played so many hours of Words with Friends over the last 9 months. So many hours of Words with Friends.
Wow.
So like if it was based on how many hours I put into a game, that wins.
Words with Friends. That's amazing.
Yeah. Spy Party, I played with you and my friend Matt, who is one of the groomsmen. That's like our go-to now.
So good.
And it's so much fun to play. His voice literally sounds like the banana bread person.
Is that where you got the idea from?
Yeah.
Banana bread.
It's perfect.
That's amazing.
But ultimately, I gave this to the Jackbox games.
Okay.
Those are games that you could play with anyone. I couldn't narrow it down to one because I don't feel like one game is like all winners. I wish there was like a master set, and if the more games you own it all just showed up in here so I don't have to leave the game.
That'd be cool.
But in COVID, that was a game that like people I haven't talked to in a while, I'm like, hey, do you want to play some games? We could turn them into drinking games. And I got drunk on Zoom a lot. I'm going to be straight up with that. And Jackbox Party Pack was a fun game to kind of reconnect with people that I haven't seen in a long time.
That's awesome.
And you don't need controllers. You play on your phone. Jackbox is a lifesaver in quarantine.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the Rose Tinted Glasses Award. So these are the games that either you replayed again after not having played for a time, or maybe they came out last year and you played it some more this year.
Right.
Or it could be like a remake or a remaster that you thoroughly enjoyed.
Right.
So what did you pick for this one?
So when we had our conversation earlier today, and you were asking about the whole, whether we should include remasters and remakes, and I have a feeling I know which one you picked because I probably picked the same one you picked. For me, it's going to be The Last of Us Remastered. That game, my God, like I remember loving The Last of Us so much, but revisiting this game meant even more. I don't know. It was just, it looked amazing. It played so well. I felt like I was playing it for the first time, to be honest. It's such a well done story. The characters are just absolutely fantastic. The acting's amazing. It's amazing how well the game holds up. Like after that time, like that time of it gone by. Because wasn't it like the first game to come out for it was the last game to come out for PlayStation 3?
It was like the last major release.
Yeah, the last major
and
release.
One of the
PlayStation
first
3.
ones to come out for the new system.
Right. So the fact that it's been like a full generation gone by, and I just now played it this year, and it was just as amazing. I that was easily my remaster revisit game.
Like that was as close as I can get to experiencing it for the first time again.
Yes, so good.
And I look forward to hopefully experiencing that story on HBO.
Oh God, I can't wait.
That was definitely on my list. Playing Spider-Man again. The reason that one didn't win is because like it feels long, especially after playing Miles Morales. I felt like that was a good length. Spider-Man Remastered is long.
Right. It really is.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake was an excellent remake. It felt like just like it did the first time I played. The levels looked the same. I felt like I was able to get as much crazy air and combos as I used to as a kid.
That's awesome.
But I'm going to give it to Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That makes sense. Okay,
yeah,
I mean,
and you're
sense.
like, we have the same one. I'm like, no, we don't.
No, we don't. I
Um,
should have seen
like
that coming though.
like I mentioned earlier, like it looked like it felt like it did when I was 10 years old. The music was incredible. It was added upon. Like I love the old school MIDI tracks.
Right.
But these full orchestra tracks were so incredible, and like I'll just listen to them in the car. I'll just listen to them.
That's awesome.
I
That's so
remember
cool.
downloading all the original tracks onto a floppy disk, and then like on my grandma's work computer, and then I'd bring it home and I'd listen to it on my computer. Oh, I thought they were so good, but like I think it did an excellent job of reminding me why I love the original so much, but taking its own liberties and adding on and changing to keep me on my toes for what the rest of the games are going to look like.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's great. It's funny you mentioned like the fact that you like would take like the laptop like everywhere where you went and like to listen to the MIDI tracks. It's like your parents think you're like doing some dirty stuff and you're just listening to like MIDI tracks from Final Fantasy VII. He's
what are you
addicted.
doing? Crying? Listening to Aerith's theme?
Is that what they're calling it now?
Aerith, I love you.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
All right, what's the next one?
The next award is Burn It With Fire. Clearly, this is an obvious one. It's basically the worst game we played this year. Whether it was suggested by one of us to the other, or it was something we came across and we played it and we were like, what is this? So, Jeff, what was your Burn It With Fire game this year?
I'm going to tell you, 4 out of 5 of these are games that you recommended.
I already know what your Burn It With Fire game is, but I'm just
I know. I'm
asking.
going to lead up to it nicely, though. The one that you didn't recommend is a game that I don't even hate, but it is a game that made me want to split my keyboard in half.
Oof.
Which was Getting Over It with Ben Foddy. That's the game where you're the dude in the cauldron with the sledgehammer.
Okay,
And you're
yes.
trying to climb as high as you can. And I've watched speedruns where someone does it in like 30 seconds. And I'll get as high as I can after 15 minutes. And then I'll make one slip and I'll go back to where I started.
Oh, man.
It is the most frustrating experience. And I can't, when I start playing it, I can't stop. Like, it gets me.
Can't stop.
Like, I should have looked up how many hours I put into that game. But
Oh
I'm sure
my
it's at
God.
least like 6 hours of torture.
Ugh.
And I didn't even get that far. Like, I saw how far you can get. I didn't get that far.
Well,
Very frustrating game. I also tried it on mobile. Don't do that. It's sadder. I also put on The Last Campfire.
okay, all right.
I really didn't like that game.
Jerk. I'm just kidding.
Like it was cute, I guess, but
I guess.
like I felt like cute was
liked
supposed to be the selling point, and it wasn't even that cute to me. I don't know.
All right, fair enough.
Dead Space. I wanted. That's a game I wanted. That's
I
the opposite
know.
of a pleasant surprise. Like I
That's-
wanted to like it. I was
So
like, yeah,
many
Dead
people
Space.
love that game. That's
Oh,
crazy.
I want to play Dead Space.
I
And
still
then,
can't believe that one.
Return of the Obra Dinn. I did not. Like I don't know if I didn't. I don't know if I said it, but I didn't put a whole hour into that game.
Yeah, I think you told me you
I
could
tried.
not. Nah, that's
It
fine.
wasn't even like the graphic style. I was like, oh, look at all the different visual things you can do.
Right.
But I'm sure that you can guess the Burn It With Fire word goes to Police Quest 4, which is the most insulted I've ever been playing a game. And like, we look back on that one episode of Cliche This and we're like, oh.
Yeah,
I look back on that whole game and I'm like, who made this? This wasn't even okay in the 90s.
Oh my god.
Like the racial insensitivity, the bad voice acting, the impossible to, like the anti-intuitive point and click version of trying to figure out how to pull up the menu.
Oh man.
It all sucked.
Oh man. I remember loving that game as a kid too. That's what's so funny.
I want you to do a let's play where you play those games again. I will if you stream again, I want you to stream those games. Start with the fourth one.
Start with the worst one.
You'll probably remember the other ones fondly.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. What was yours?
Well, actually, I kind of pulled up my list because I kind of wanted to. I did remember some of the ones that I just did not like at all. I'd have to say there was a few that just came like immediately can think of, like Doki Doki Literature Club. Like, I can't explain it because I like the concept of that game, but the fact that you spend way too long to get to the point of the game. like
Yeah.
way too long. The conversations just draw out for so long, and the music is just annoying by the end because it's the same song played over and over and over and over again. Yeah, I'm just not a I don't know. I'm just not a JR. I'm not a Japanese visual novel guy, I guess, but
Yeah,
it
fair.
was just so rough to play that game. Undertale, I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. I did not like the art style. I I think that's what really threw me off, and I just hated the most was the art style. I just did not like how practically everything was black and white and everything looked so old. Like
Yeah.
I can appreciate like an older like style, but just for some reason it just looked so clunky, and I don't know. I don't know. It looked like they didn't spend a lot of time making it, but I know they did. So no offense to the company, but I couldn't get into it.
We'll never get that person on the podcast.
No, never will. Um, another one I did not like was what was it? Back to the Future. Man, I loved the only
That
thing I
one
loved
hurts. That one hurts more than the other two.
the only thing I loved about that game was the story and the voice acting.
Okay,
Everything
that's fair.
else was just it looked so bad. I could
I
not.
mean, that was one of the first big Telltale games. Like that was like
Right.
the first one where they're like, guys, we got one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. It looked really bad, and the audio was really bad. Like the audio was blown out of proportion. Like it was just like it sounded bad. It looked bad. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The only reason why if I ever go back to it, it's because of the story. But
I mean, that's like the spiritual fourth movie.
I get it. I mean, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But the award is going to go to WWE 2K20. Burn that with fire, throw it in the trash, delete it from history, just get rid of it. It was like one of the worst storylines I've ever seen in my entire life in a WWE game. It was
I'm okay with
so cheesy, and everything looked like plastic, and like the hair was moving, but like in like one chunk, and the hair would like get stuck through clothes, and it just the voice acting was so cheesy and crappy, and oh my god, that game was horrible. I could
Yeah.
barely get past the tutorial. It was so bad, so bad.
It's a good representation of being a wrestling fan in general. Like
Yeah, fair
it's
enough.
always something I want to like, and then I watch it, and I'm like, why is this so bad? It's not that hard.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
understand. I get it.
Yeah,
I
so
get it.
there you go. That's my Burn It With Fire award.
Yep. All right, we're gonna move on to the Give It an Hour Game of the Year. This is our favorite game that we played for the segment Give It an Hour. It could be a game that we recommended for each other, a game that we bought for both of us to play, or more recently, a game that was off of our own backlog.
Right.
What was your Give It an Hour Game of the Year?
This is gonna be you recommended a lot of good games this year, and it was kind of hard, to be honest, to narrow it down to one. Like just quickly, like looking through some of these on my list. Death and Taxes was great. I loved that. Devil's Attorney, that's such a fun mobile game. It was just, and like again, that's also one of the games that made me laugh out loud quite often. I actually did like The Last Campfire. I thought it was really like
Oh, I know.
sweet. I know. I loved The Last Campfire, so that was good. But yeah, Night in the Woods. Night in the Woods is amazing. That's another good one on my list. But I feel like the best one that had like the best combination of art style, story, music, sound design, it all just kind of tied together really well was Inside. So Inside
yeah.
is going to be my Give It an Hour Game of the Year. That was just so well done. It has some of the coolest twists to the story. The visuals are just absolutely gorgeous and breathtaking, as minimal as they are, and it's so unsettling too. That vibe that it gives off too. It's just so unsettling, so dark, and I love stuff that's dark and disturbing. So this game kind of just hit me on all the points. It was just really good and really well done. So Inside is my winner for Give It an Hour Game of the Year.
Yeah, that definitely made my list. Like 95% of that game goes one way, and then all of a sudden the ending happens.
Right.
And, like it's a completely different game for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's over. I loved the game. I loved Limbo. I loved watching you play Limbo, and then me playing Limbo. Like that the first one wasn't a game you really played for story. It was so basic. It was
Right.
like watching how many times you could die.
Right, exactly. True.
Hellblade, as I mentioned earlier, it was a pleasant surprise. The Long Dark, seeing how far that game has come since the first time I
Dude.
tried it for 5 minutes and then turned it off.
Totally.
Like the full blown story was really impressive. Ori and the Blind Forest,
Beautiful game.
beautiful game. Like I was. That's another one. I guess I could say I was pleasantly surprised of, but I knew there was hype going into it.
Right.
And I haven't played the one that I actually chose, but it's the one I'm most excited to continue playing. It's Control.
Nice.
I like they just announced early next year the release date for the PS5 version to come out.
Yes. You showed me that trailer.
And I was very fortunate. I waited for the Ultimate Edition to come out before I bought it, so that I could make sure I got the PlayStation 5 version.
Heck yeah.
But like the concept, the gameplay, the graphics are all incredible, and I'm looking forward to playing it on a steady frame rate.
Oh, nice. There you go.
And, yeah, so
No, it's so buggy sometimes.
I know.
Like, oh my
I think
God.
I'm going to start it over completely from the beginning and give it another shot, because we
Nice.
didn't get very far.
Nice.
But Control definitely captured me, and I can't wait to continue.
That's awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah, I would like I went through the whole list of the Give It an Hour games, and I was like, I told Nathan these walking simulators are getting to me, and he kept throwing them at me.
Here's another one and another. Because it's like, I feel like there are some that are just different. You know, the others, like The Long Dark, I feel like is a completely different experience than some of those other ones.
Yeah, that one's different. But like the What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yeah.
I should have put Witness and Burn It with Fire.
Witness?
Fire Watch.
You hated that game immediately.
I hated that game immediately and forever.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. The Witness.
So yeah, they're like.
Who
to
knew
me,
somebody could hate a puzzle game so much, right?
So like just that kind of puzzle in particular. But yeah, some of these, even some of the ones I said I am going back to, like Far Cry Primal or the Outer Wilds, I'm going to have a hard time going back to some of these games.
Yeah.
They'll just stay at the bottom of my list.
You'll just never get to them, basically.
Pretty much, they have the honor of being on the list, but they're stuck there for the rest of my life.
Right. Or, you know what we'll probably do is I'll probably pass this list on to my kids someday, and they'll be like, hey, if you ever want to play these, here's a list I never got to.
Don't touch the ones I already beat.
Yeah. Make a new save for Red Dead Redemption 2. You hear me?
If I can be re-put back my consciousness into a computer, I want to pick up from my save.
Oh my God. Okay, cool. So before we move on to our game of the year, we actually got a few listener and supporter choices for their games of the year. So from Instagram, we have a couple people. We have Retro Styles. He said, gosh, this is so hard, but I'm going to have to say Mario Kart Tour for mobile. It offers a legit Nintendo experience of Mario Kart in the palm of your hand. And then we had Backlog Sensei saying Hollow Knight is my pick. 2020 was my first time playing it, but so far it trumps everything I've played this year. A true gaming memory 5 to 10 years from now. And then we have from Twitter, Norman Bates Jr., Amnesia Rebirth. I think it made me so nostalgic for early 2000s horror games. The main character is also interesting, being a pregnant woman, and the story is heartbreaking. It's also incredibly scary. The only Mr. Static from Twitter said Animal Crossing for sure. It helped me get through the first half of the year without losing my mind. And then we had Alex Tapau Yeah on Twitter. ACNH, Animal Crossing New Horizon, wins it for me. I feel like it took the COVID cake and released just as we got the stay-at-home orders. It continues to stay relevant with time lockdown events, even if I play it for the day and don't touch it for a month or so. And then we had Clay Does Tweets, our famous Clay. When it comes to Game of the Year, it would have to be Final Fantasy VII Remake. It took a beloved game and made it more accessible for a new audience, and you can tell major love and care went into bringing this classic to a modern-day realization. Not to mention that that squat song gives me new life. that squat song?
If you get far enough in the game, you know what it is.
Okay. From a new fan, I can't wait to play the classic through and see where they take this new story. And then last but not least, we had Pokestar Wind, also our moderator on the show,
Wait,
Emily.
Is she listed as a moderator in your credits? No, Emily is still unsung.
But I promote her. I promote her and thank her every single episode. So
yeah, out of guilt.
No,
Well-deserved guilt.
it's not guilt. It's not guilt. That is actually out of true thankfulness. Okay, you shut your mouth. She said, so I think I'm gonna go with Stardew Valley. Actually, I was thinking I had to stick to games from this year. It really got me and Jeff through the first couple months of quarantine. Just got back into this week and it played literally all day. It's a perfect blend of story and sim.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. There's some of our listeners' game of the year choices. Thank you guys for writing in. We really appreciate it. And now I guess it's time for the grand finale, Jeff.
It's our turn.
It's our turn.
I'm going to go first because I agree with Emily. My choice is also Stardew Valley. I have 150 hours on the PC. I have 100 hours on the Switch. That game is what got us through quarantine.
That's amazing.
It's a game we could play together. It's a game we could play separately. Once I moved a computer and saw what mods can accomplish, like not having to worry about sprinkler sizes, not having to remember which pigs I pet already, not having to check on the furnace to make sure it moved on to the next thing. Like there's a mod called Automate, and you just throw all your ores in there, and it takes them and turns them into bars and puts them back for you.
Wow.
Like you don't have to spend like the first 2/3 of your day doing the same thing you did yesterday.
I love that.
You
Puts
let
it
it
back
do-
for you.
Like it takes away the daily tasks, and it adds life, the mods to it. And I loaded it back up the other day, and I was up until 3 a.m. playing it last night.
My God.
And then I woke up, and then I played it until 5:30. And then I said, I guess I better eat dinner and get ready for this podcast. Like,
Wow.
it is total consuming. It's chill, but at the same time, you have to put all of your focus into it.
Right. You do.
And it's fun. Like I've been playing all this week, probably even just the last 2 or 3 days, and I'm only 1 season in. But it is a ton of fun.
That's amazing. That's
Yep.
amazing. Cool. Well, now this was a tough one for me because at one point it was going to be The Last of Us Part 2, but it really came down to, because this year was really tough. Obviously, it was.
Yeah.
And this game was really like hard, like, hard on the mental status. You know what I mean? Like it was really heavy, and just, I had anxiety playing the game the entire time. So as much as I can say that this game technically is probably the best game of the year, just because it, the score, the acting, the visuals, everything, it looked so good. But it's gonna go to Ghost of Tsushima. This game, it filled my itch for, like, the game that I've been wanting to play for a long time now. Like I miss the old Assassin's Creed game, and this kind of just, I don't know, it did everything for me that I wanted it to do. It had serious moments. It made me cry. I won't spoil why I cried, but the score had me. The world was absolutely gorgeous. I enjoyed searching every single like edge and corner of that map, and the voice acting was on point. The story was brilliant. Just everything about this game was so good. And I think if I had to distinguish between the two, it's because I had fun with Ghost of Tsushima. I never had fun with The Last of Us Part 2. Like, I enjoyed it because of what they had done, and I appreciated every moment of it. But if we had to narrow it down to why Ghost of Tsushima won over Last of Us Part 2, is because I actually had fun. Like, I haven't had that kind of fun with combat in, I don't know, for so long. It's easily one of the most fun combat, what's the word I'm looking for? The most fun combat setups ever. It's just addicting, and it's fluid once you get the hang of it, and it's just such a good game. So Ghost of Tsushima is my official game of the year, hands down.
I had tons of fun playing The Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing Abby off of the top of every building that I possibly could.
Ooch. That would be hilarious. Put Abby on Pain.
I would buy it. I'd buy it anyway. That game's so much fun.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good call. There was it's definitely in one of the ones I definitely would have expected to see from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look forward to playing it. I hope they do a PlayStation 5 like version, like an official version. I know they updated it.
Yeah, you can play in 60 now, in 60 frames.
Yeah, so
So it plays much better apparently.
I definitely want to push through it. Like the open world is so overwhelming, and
It
I don't
is.
like backtracking and
I know.
like, things like that. But
Yeah,
I do want to get through it.
what's nice though is the fast travel is actually it actually makes it a lot easier. Because honestly, the difference between Ghost of Tsushima and Red Dead Redemption 2 for me is I actually enjoy riding my horse through all of that map in Red Dead Redemption 2. Whereas in Ghost of Tsushima, once I've been there, I don't want to have to like backtrack through the entire map, to be honest. So as much as I loved every area of the map, going back through it wasn't as exciting because it looked, there was a lot of areas that kind of looked very similar. But fast traveling through that map and exploring every inch of it was so rewarding and so fun. So I would suggest heavily using fast travel whenever you can and try to just tackle side missions along the way, because it actually really does, like, it actually doesn't ruin the storyline experience if you do all the side stuff, because there's not that many side quests really, to be honest.
Does it add to the character or does it add to like visual stuff?
You mean like in terms
you probably
of
level up, I assume, but like
yeah,
the stuff that you get from the side quests, does it make the end game easier?
yeah, I would say so. There's some aspects to it that I think definitely, because I think you level up much faster earlier on, and I was like max everything. Like I would say like before, like I would say when Act 3 started, I was like max level everything practically.
Okay.
So I would definitely say yes.
Okay, I'll get into it. I'll get into it.
It's worth it.
Looks like your opinion was very controversial on calling The Last of Us 2 not fun, but
I don't think it was. I had anxiety the entire time, and I was nervous for every character all the time, and I just, I enjoyed it in terms of like the gameplay, but like in terms of like smiling, no, I never smiled playing The Last of Us Part 2.
To me, it's the difference then, like, not to discount your opinion, but it's difference between seeing, Avengers, the first one, or Joker. Like, Avengers, first one, you're like, oh, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the movie, but like,
that's the perfect
Joker,
example.
like, you still enjoyed it.
Oh God, love
and it was
Joker.
a great experience, but you came out of that like, oh my God.
I came out of there feeling like crap. Yeah, but but again, I went out of there going, that was an amazing film. But yes, that's the perfect explanation or perfect example.
So it depends on what kind of movie you want to see.
That's basically what it comes down to. But for me, it was, I feel like if it had been any other year, I think Last of Us 2 would have won. But because this year was so crappy and just so down and so depressing, I chose a game that I actually enjoyed and had a blast playing.
See, I'm different than you. Like, if I'm feeling sad, I have a playlist for that. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to sad music.
You're like over here playing Enya.
Like, if you see me playing the Everything Is All Right soundtrack, I am straight up not having a good time.
All right.
And I'm keeping it that way.
You're like, I'm sad. I'm gonna go hardcore sad now.
I'm gonna sit in the sadness.
I'm gonna cry in the shower and drink a beer. That's amazing.
That's actually, there's on my Finstagram, there's literally a video of me having a shower beer.
All by myself.
Oh.
Good episode.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that was a cliche, this reference. Oh,
right?
No.
It was. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, so before we move on to a couple other things, we wanted to actually ask, this episode, before we move into the new year, instead of doing a give it an hour game, we actually want to ask the listeners for your gaming resolutions. So games you want to beat next year, how you want to tackle your backlog. It doesn't matter what the topic is, as long as it's something to do with video games and it's a resolution. We actually want to hear them, so you can reach us at the email contact@backloganbeyond.com, or you can DM us on Twitter or Instagram. We have those on social media as well.
Yep.
So yeah.
Also, let us know what games you would have picked for all of these categories. Like, we asked for your game of the year, but what games made you laugh? What games made you cry? What games upset you like Police Quest 4 upset me? I want to know these games.
What game do you want to burn with fire?
What game do you want to burn with fire? What game did we make you play that you didn't like?
Yeah, I would like to hear that. I'd like to hear the games that we were.
I would like to know if anyone played a game because we recommended it. Like, that would be amazing.
I know. I feel like a lot of the suggestions we made, people had already played them, and they were just giving their 2 cents.
So it was like it was warning us or like getting us hyped. Like,
yeah, I feel like the only people who actually probably jumped in was like Alex and Clay.
Yeah, true. True.
But it's all good. It's all good.
We made them.
we're just gonna keep doing this because we're enjoying it, and I'm having a blast doing this show.
Yeah.
I can't
So,
believe it's already been like what 7 months
32
now we've been
weeks.
doing this show. This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
We'll see how long it goes.
Also, as a reminder,
Once Nathan's real job starts coming back, he'll be like,
Ugh. I can't do
My
this
girls
anymore.
come first.
My girls come first. Honestly, if it's that bad, like if there's weeks where I just can't do it, I say we just make Clay or Alex the co-host.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them. Why not? Screw it. They can both
Because
just be
Nathan
on
will
it.
just be sad that he.
I know. I'll be so sad. Oh my god.
Nathan will show up in the chat.
Hey guys.
I don't know why I'm not on the show.
I know, right? As a reminder, we are live on Twitch right now. So if you guys want to join the show live, we're on twitch.tv/Adventure Hawkins, my Twitch channel. We do this show live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So be sure to jump in because we do a little Q&A after the show, which you don't get to hear on the podcast when that goes live. So
Yep.
there's that.
We also watch our old YouTube show and talk about how shameful it is, but how much fun it was to do.
I know, right? But I don't know. I just want to say, like, thank you for everyone who's listened for these past 7 months, who's supported us. This has been an amazing experience. I'm so glad we decided to do this together because I feel like not making content with you for so long has been sad and depressing.
Yeah.
And it's been an honor being able to do this again with you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, no, like it feels like a small part of the whole that Cliche Vis left.
Yeah, exactly.
And like at the very least, I want to continue doing this,
right,
so that we could stay connected the way we are. But
right.
like, then there's the people we met. We met Clay and Alex, and they're dope as hell. We get to talk to like Zans and Isaac every week,
and Paul
and Paul
and Crooked. You got to meet Crooked finally.
Yes. So, like for that alone, this is a successful venture.
Yes, I mean, no matter where this goes, I'm enjoying every second of it, and I could do this till we decide that this just doesn't work anymore.
Keyword or code 4, till Nathan's too busy. Too busy.
I'm too busy.
We're playing like chicken, like who's gonna jump out first.
What's gonna end up happening is my girls are gonna get involved with something that's gonna happen on Saturday nights. I'm gonna be like, sorry, the podcast comes first. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you talking like when they're into sports at like 5?
Yeah, no, like when they're like teenagers, like they're doing like musical theater or something.
How long are we doing this podcast?
We're doing this podcast till we die, bro. We're doing this shit till we die, bro.
Like, technically, I don't think anyone's been doing podcasts this long because podcasts haven't been a thing that long yet.
That's not true. I mean, I feel like I'm hearing people that have done like 600, 700 episodes, and that's like years of content.
Your daughters won't be teenagers for another 12 and a half years.
Yeah. So
the podcast's been going that long?
I don't know. I'm hopeful, you know?
Clay said they're going to be 50 guest starring. I'm holding him to it. He said he would do it until he's... How old are you now? How old are you now, Clay?
Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to be 35 next month. No, 34. I'll be 34 next month. Holy hell.
Dang.
Crazy.
Nathan's you got a good 21 good
21 good years.
Your daughters will be old enough to drink when Clay's 50.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
They'll be getting drunk, and then I'll be getting drunk, and then we'll all be on the podcast drunk.
Oh my God.
And then Nathan will be like, I can't.
Well, if whoever's listening, if this is your first episode, be sure to follow, subscribe to us, leave us a review on iTunes. We'd love to hear your reviews, whether it's good or bad. We'll read them on the show. And yeah, we're gonna be coming back strong with some more good content next year.
Yep. If you like what I say, please follow me, Zavadabadoo, on all social media. If it's Twitter, I'm mostly just ripping on Nathan.
And you can find me also on all the social medias: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, as Adventure Hawkins. Except on Twitter, there's no E on adventure because Twitter doesn't have enough, characters, which is stupid. So yeah, you can follow us there.
You could follow Backlog and Beyond on Twitter, Backlog Beyond on Instagram, we're Backlog and Beyond, or you can email us at contact@backlogandbeyond.com. The only emails we've gotten on there were thank yous to Nathan specifically for the gifts that we sent.
Because
When
my
Nathan
name
made
is
the
set up
email, he made it his name. He didn't make the first name Backlog and the last name and Beyond.
Beyond.
He made the name Nathan Hawkins.
I can
So if you
change
get an
it.
email from us, it's from us, not Nathan.
Yeah, it's from us, not just from me.
So everyone's like, "Thank you so much, Nathan."
Thank
for
you,
these
Nathan.
gifts.
You
It's
are
so generous of
amazing."
you, Nathan. I was like, "Hey, I sent the emails."
It was Jeff's idea to do the giveaway, so I felt really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I have a joke for you, Jeff. One last joke for to before we hit into 2021 and we leave this god awful year.
All right.
You
What's the
ready?
joke?
All right,
Yeah.
here's a joke. What did 2 say to 3 when they saw 6 acting like an idiot?
What?
Don't mind him. He's just a product of our times.
I was on the right track. I knew it was like multiplication.
Damn it. I was hoping you would laugh because it's a math joke and you love math.
I'm good at math. I don't
So
love
sad.
math.
Okay, well, figured to appreciate it because you're good at math.
I don't. You skipped all like the good numbers there. You got 2 and 3. Well, you got 6, but you don't 5, 6, 7, 8.